Freya here, another defend up makes Xiada into 3 flame with a count damage here, S3. Big damage. Big damage. Hi guys, Artiar here. So we already checked out a few buff enemies showcase recently, and if you haven't seen those yet, you can go check it out, which is like the buff Borg, the buff Celine, all these kind of different expert showcase. I'm trying to cover them as many as possible if I have the opportunity to showcase them. But today we'll be focusing on Xiada, who just got buffed, and she actually looking very strong right now in PvP because like the massive damage reduction buff, the resistant buff, and then you add on with the attack up and also crit damage up, will make Xiada gonna do a lot of damage and also very tanky at the same time. So special thanks to Anavis for sharing his Xiada showcase. So we're taking a look at how her new buff performed in real-time arena, and also whether she might actually make a comeback in the current meta, because Xiada previously is not that famous, but in the higher rank of RTA, probably you are able to see some Xiada is actually in action currently. Alright, so before we start the showcase, we're gonna take a look what is the changes for Xiada. So the most obvious one is the passive here, the flame here. Last time it's only the attack and also the crit damage, but now it gives you resistance and also reducing damage taken as well. So she kinda have a built-in blood buff in a way if she able to stack up the soul flame. So you can think of Xiada's mechanic is kinda like the Cog as well, because the Cog is actually stacking up with the Calamity Flame, and for Xiada is stacking up the Slow Flame. But then for Xiada, stacking up is actually a lot more faster, because as long as you can provide 3 buff for Xiada, then she will evolve 1 flame. Up to 3 evolution, and every evolve here also makes your S3 deals additional hit of 90% damage as well. So it will make Xiada into a multi-hitter AoE damage dealer that it can actually get additional free attack and also additional crit damage as well. So the first one we're going to take a look here, this is the team comp is going for. We have Tiamat here, we have Xiada, Veronica and Freya, while enemy here there's actually 3 green unit, which is Rahu, and then Sanya, Mizuki, and then Holden here as the lock slot. So in terms of elemental advantage wise, their comp here is actually getting an advantage, right? Because of Rahu, Mizuki, they are the green unit and actually a very good counter against Tiamat as well, and not to mention Xiada is actually blue, so it's actually on elemental disadvantage. So why Veronica and Freya in this team comp here is because Xiada needs a lot of buff. Veronica can provide buff sharing, can steal enemy buff, and then also apply shield as well. And Freya here can also apply a lot of buff like attack up, terminator push, and also defend up. All these things is actually a lot of buff for Xiada. Alright, so we can take a look here. So our Freya here is actually on Bulwark. So Freya will take the turn first, instantly apply the defend up, instantly makes Xiada evolve 1 soul because there's 3 buff. And then another buff sharing makes Xiada evolve another flame, so there's 2 flame now. And then Tiamat is going to take the turn soon. Once Tiamat take the turn, she will apply another AoE buff because of shield, and also instantly makes Xiada evolve 3 flame. With these 3 flame and the count attack up buff, 1 S3 here is going to do that many damage, and all this damage here is actually with enemy on blood buff. Look at the Holden damage, look at the Rahu's HP left. They left so little, and this damage here is enemy have blood buff on. That's how high damage if you can actually buff up Xiada and make Xiada high damage out. Alright, so we have Tiamat here as a sub DPS, slowly poking them down. And then we're gonna wait for Xiada to actually wait for her turn. And once she's gonna take a turn, then she's able to do another damage. Either you want to go for S3 for another AoE damage, or you want S1 to buff steal enemy as well. Alright, then because Xiada have 3 flame, right? Xiada here actually also have the permanently S3 up as well. So you can actually pick to go for S1 or S3. Alright, so now Xiada here is going to take a turn soon, but then you will notice that this Xiada is not going to cast an S3 because the Xiada here actually steal the shield away from Holden. Xiada S1 is able to steal buff, and then it instantly steal away the Holden's artisan shield. So Xiada here have a very thick amount of shield, and all this shield here is actually from Holden as well. So enemy here is actually trying to revive Rahu. Mizuki Makoto here is going to buff out the team, trying to take down Xiada down because they notice that Xiada is actually the problem now. Now, because Tiamat damage sharing, make Tiamat into the dragon mummy form and do damage. Then Freya here is just going to do some damage. Veronica do damage and then apply shield, make your Xiada even tankier now. Not to mention Xiada passive gives herself damage taken reduction. Another S3 spam, almost gonna wipe the whole team. And now you notice that everyone, including Mizuki, including Rahu, they're actually trying to kill Xiada. But Xiada passive giving her the damage reduction, making her very tanky at the same time while she's able to do high damage. Alright, so now we're gonna take a look at the other one. Is Veronica, Ninfonel, Freya, and also Xiada. This team comp here, it looks like not a Cleave team and not a Bruiser team as well, but a Xiada specific team, because these three unit here is just gonna buff Xiada and just keep making her evolve the flame and let her spam the S3. And then for the enemy team comp here, we can see Holden, Mizuki, Tiamat, and also Lilium, and we can see how the action actually goes. So as usual, Freya is gonna take the turn first because it's a Bulwark Freya, right? So Freya here is gonna attack up buff and also turn meter down them because of the debuff, applying debuff to them. Alright, then Ninfolia is gonna take the turn, apply AoE, immunity, attack up, and also the special shield that can increase attack, make Xiada evolve the flame. And then Veronica here gonna spread another buff to everyone, make Xiada gonna evolve another flame. So this is a 2 flame Xiada. And then Freya here, another defend up, makes Xiada into 3 flame with a count damage here, S3. Big damage, instantly almost wipe out the whole team, left Mizuki and also Tiamat, because this Tiamat have Ember. If that Tiamat doesn't have Ember, it's actually a full wipe already. So like this Xiada is actually the next new Cleaver if you can actually fulfill the buff condition to actually buff up Xiada. Like, why would you need Messiah when you can actually just use Xiada to cleave the comp, right? So now it's just about Tiamat, and then Xiada here is just gonna keep spamming the S3 because of the permanently reduce the cooldown by 1 turn. Then the Xiada is able to keep on spamming, because if you look at her skill, every time she has the flame, she will permanently reduce her cooldown by 1 turn. So she's able to keep spamming the S3 because you reduce 3 flame minus 3, so you only have 1 turn cooldown. And your S1 here can also steal enemy buff as well. So it's a very universal unit because you have your own attack up, you have your own crit damage up, you have resistance, you have damage reduction, and then you have AoE damage, AoE defend down, and then you have multi-hit damage, and you have buff steal as well. Alright, then this another showcase, so it's the same thing, it's Veronica, and then Xiada, we have Ninfonel and Freya, while enemy here is going for Ayaya, and then going for Holden, Lilith, and then also Rahu. So there's 3 green elements here fighting against 1 Xiada, and we can take a look how high the damage Xiada is actually able to do, even though she's at elemental disadvantage. Freya's gonna take the turn as usual because of the Bulwark and the buff, right? So Freya here apply the defend up also on the Dream Wolf, so she's able to immune to 2 kind of debuff when enemy is applying, and Ninfonel here is going to apply the immunity and also making the 2nd flame now. Veronica here gonna spread all her buff again and then making Xiada to the 3 flame. Now Xiada have 3 flame, which is the maximize attack up, crit damage up, damage reduction, and effect resistance as well. So you have effect resistance 90%, and then you have like immunity, you have the Freya, the Dream Well here to actually help you block the debuff. So this Xiada is basically not able to get stripped or not able to get debuff at all. So you can see this Holden here trying to dispel away the buff from Xiada, but this Xiada here is so high resistance from the passive, Big Xiada does not take away any kind of buff. Now Rahu here casts another AoE damage trying to kill the Xiada, but because the Xiada here have the soul ward provided by Veronica, so you're not able to die. It will maintain at 1 HP. Alright. Then Veronica casts S2, apply a thick amount of shield, then Xiada able to take the turn now, spam an AoE damage of S3. You can see the damage into Lilith, into the Ayaya and Holden is actually massive. Alright, now they are trying to kill Xiada, but we have Ninfonel to redistribute the HP and also heal them up as well. Okay, now all we need to do is wait for Xiada to take her turn, and she's able to just nuke down the team. Okay, Ayaya trying to damage, but Rahu did not assist. Freya here turn meter push into the whole team. Ninfonel apply another thick amount of shield and also attack up as well. Instantly turn meter push into Xiada. Xiada casts AoE damage, instantly wipe out the Holden and Ayaya, and now Lilith just died, left Rahu. So Xiada passive actually brings in a lot of value, not to mention the effect resistance, not to mention the all the damage buffs she's able to provide, and also the damage the effect resistance as well. So your effect resistance and damage reduction makes her very tanky and also not easy to get stripped. So the new Xiada is actually very good if you are able to provide enough buff to buff up her flame as fast as possible. Alright, so this team here is just slowly chip off the Rahu HP, then you actually win. Now Veronica with the last S3, pop, and then Rahu just died. Now we can also take a look at another one. This is Freya with Tsukuyomi. When you see Freya and Tsukuyomi, probably you will wonder like, oh, if the enemy is going to a Messiah, but in the end it's actually going for Xiada. It's using Xiada as a cleaver, and we have Veronica here and Fuchu, but Veronica got banned, so we have Fuchu here to provide a heal and also the Terminator push, while enemy here is going with 4 blues, which is Ninfonia, Bork here, Lingluo, and also Tiamat. We can take a look at here. So he's actually trying to cleave because you have Tsukuyomi and Freya, but then enemy here is also have a very good healer, have Tiamat and Brock, and also Ninfonia to apply big amount of shield. So Freya buff up the team, and also Terminator push at the enemy. Then Tsukuyomi instantly push into Fuchu, let Fuchu instantly take the turn so you can apply the heals and also the Terminator push for the whole team. Alright, so everything is set up. Now we just need to wait for Xiada to take a turn. Okay, enemy is setting up, removing the debuff from them. Okay, 2 flame of Xiada with a count. Now Xiada is going to do damage. AoE damage, you can see, is actually half of the Tiamat HP and also Lingluo as well. So imagine when Xiada actually have 3 flame. But that's not enough buff to actually provide it because since Veronica actually get banned. So now we'll slowly stack up the damage. Brock here is with a Tiger Yin. Lingluo heal up the team again. Okay, go into the Dragon Mummy form. But then because you have actually have full shield here to apply the heals, or else you might actually lose already. Okay, Tsukuyomi gonna take a turn. Terminator push into Xiada. Xiada spam another S3 of damage. AoE damage is still doing a massive amount of damage, but instantly trigger into Tiamat's counter attack. That Xiada is nearly going to die, but thanks to Fuchu to slowly heal back up. And then Fuchu instantly cast another S3, apply another AoE amount of shield, makes the team actually safe. Or else that Xiada is gonna die, and once the Xiada is gonna die, then it's actually just game over. Alright. Xiada take another turn from Tsukuyomi, spam another S3, and enemy is almost gonna get wiped up. Then Freya casts another S3, buff up the team. Tiamat goes into the Amber. Ninfonia gonna take the turn, redistribute the HP. Tsukuyomi slowly push up Xiada from the S1 Terminator push. This AoE damage here, because you have full shield, is actually basically AoE heal for everyone, but Tsukuyomi already died. But no problem because Freya is gonna take Xiada is gonna take a turn soon, and once Xiada take a turn, is able to spam another S3. Dang, look at that damage. It's actually very high. Then Freya just keep rotating with the buff, keep on Terminator pushing to Xiada as well. Okay, then we have Ninfonia trying to kill off Xiada now. But this Freya is actually very fast. S1 nearly gonna kill that Xiada. It's actually very close. Xiada kept another S3 instantly kill them. That's how important the damage taken reduction is from the Xiada passive. Oh, then here's another showcase provided by another viewer, but in a different perspective. The viewer is actually the enemy side, and then this side here is actually the player. And then he have Plume here, and then with Xiada, Veronica, and Freya, it's gonna be the same setup, the buffing up the team. Alright, so we can take a look here. Freya is gonna take the turn first, apply the buff, attack up buff, buffing the team, and also Terminator push down the Doki Doki, so Doki Doki can't take the turn. Alright, so Lingluo here take the action, applying buffs, and then Plume here gonna apply the defend down and also the weakness as well. But once you have the defend down, the other is gonna do so much damage. Alright, Veronica is gonna buff share into Xiada. Alright, Xiada is gonna increase 1 flame. Freya cuts into the turn, and then casts another buff, makes the Xiada a 2nd flame. This is just a 2nd flame Xiada, by the way. Alright, now Xiada S3, AoE damage while enemy have defend break, instantly one-shot the whole team. So if you're interested to build the Xiada, this is the Xiada build he went for. It's a max dupe Xiada, and then the skill up is a 455. If you are at like day 1 player using Xiada for like Doki Doki clear, the Infinity Train clear, probably you're gonna have Xiada at 155 already, right? And then all you need to do is actually invest a little bit more into the S1 here. The S1 here is mainly for the Prowler's upgrade for actually getting the bonus stats, so you can actually get more attack stats. Then it's going for count, and then it's actually forcing himself to get the Harvest set. You can see the Harvest set here is actually forced out. It's a 3/3 plus 2, so you get an 8 set here, and then you're gonna have another Foray here, and then another Foray set. So you have Foray Age, and then you have Foray set, and then you have a force out Harvest set, and then basically that's it. Because in count here, you are not able to get the Harvest set to actually get the additional damage ignore, because you want to do massive damage, and then you with a defense break and also the damage ignore makes Xiada actually able to spam a lot of damage. And then the count here is going for is the attack percentage, going for crit damage percentage, and also blue damage as well. So if you're interested and also try out Xiada, then you can also check out this. This is the build that, or the playstyle is actually going for. So, and again, special thanks to NRVs to actually sharing the showcase, because this showcase actually show out how strong Xiada is after the buff. As long as you're able to make her evolve all the flame as fast as possible, you're gonna get so many benefit from it, and the S3 damage is actually very high. Like the attack percentage up to 3 stack, right? You are able to get 54% attack, 54% attack percentage. You're gonna get damage reduction 45%. You're gonna get another free crit damage by 30% and effect resistance for 90%. Makes her very strong, especially you pair with Freya to actually apply the buffs and also like immunity from Ninfor now. Like for example, the Freya here can apply this special buff. This special buff is inflicted with debuff, then you consume 1 stack to purify it. It's also a very good combination with Freya, with Xiada, to keep on making Xiada on a very comfortable state to let her able to spam more damage. Alright, so that's all for this video. So after watching the showcase, I'm actually very hyped for using my own Xiada as well, because at the early days, I'm actually using Xiada as my main DPS, because when I started the game, I did not have a very good DPS, so I actually went for Xiada for my Doki Doki run, for my Aurora, and also for my Infinity Train. I'm basically using Xiada a lot of places until I get Yali. Then so my Xiada investment is already at 155. So actually this is actually a very good place that I can actually go invest into my Xiada, just to get a little bit of attack stats from here. So I can get a little bit more attack stats, and my Xiada is actually usable already. And not to mention, I keep getting her from the perma banner. The Xiada just keep coming to me. So it seems like it's very good position for me to actually try out Xiada in my Cleave com as well. Alright, so feel free to comment down what you guys think about her, and see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Special thanks for the direct support on the YouTube membership. So for the benefactor of Artiar, which is Trencan, thank you so much for your support. And for the supporter or patron of Artiar, which is Louis Schneider, Agni, Wang Tamer, Ziggy, Kamaruki, Sunwaltz, Rimu, Chani, Antonio Winterspoon, First Law, D&D, thank you so much for your support. And special thanks to the Super Thanks MVP, HMZ Riggs, thank you so much for your support. Special thanks for the direct support on the live stream super chat for the latest tag. Thank you so much for Code Wilderness, Calamity, Agni, Love Fatima, Fatima Little Underwear, Bloods, Riku Fred, Chani. Thank you so much for your support.